Perfect landing. Alright, let's see what's in this mini-con here. This is Bulletproof. He has heavy armor, and he is actually really damn good, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot of place for him in our current setup. I'm going to go ahead and equip him so I can show him off in these next few encounters before I need Slipstream again, and I'll be able to switch him back out pretty soon with minimal effort. So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Let's Play that's more than meets the eye. Transformers Armada. So we are in Alaska, and it's cold, and it's gray, and it's going to last us for the next 20 minutes. Actually longer, because this is not the only video that is going to take place in this level. Oh no, we still have a few more to go. And there's one of those command units I was talking about in the last video that have their, that's a demonstration of their dangerous sword attack that can physics us back. It's probably the most powerful melee attack in the game. Probably even more so than the, we just blew him to absolute bits there with Hailstorm though. So he wasn't much of a match for us, even after all that hype. But, like I was saying, I think that's even more powerful than the heavy unit's stomp, but it doesn't seem like it physics you quite as hard. Notice I keep using physics as a verb in this LP, but it's just the best way I can describe it's the best way I can abbreviate, implying that, you know, something causes enough damage to you to cause your character model to flail around with the ragdoll physics that this game so generously uses. You can tell this was right around when ragdoll physics first became popular, but it's after it was really hyped up, so it's been refined a lot by the time this game came around. It still makes the game unfair at times, even for the enemies, but now that is a huge group of enemies over there. As you can see, with Hailstorm, we'll just blow them all away. There's a command unit over there. This is an example of what I was talking about, of how brilliant the AI is regarding the command units. And it's not really so much that it's good AI, so much as it is just it works well in coordination with I don't know what I'm trying to say. The command unit's ability to order enemies works well in conjunction with how the medium units, operate. So he ordered them all to come to a specific location, and pretty much it is just like a pathfinding script that allows them to go to a fixed point, which works against them and causes some hilarious shenanigans later in the game where they just blatantly ignore us and go to the fixed point that the commander ordered them to go to. But it definitely gives the illusion that there's some real intelligence going on here with the AI, and that they are actually coordinating to fight us in a strategic manner, which means striking grenades at our face at point-blank range behind their silly shields that we can now bypass thanks to Aurora, which we picked up in the last video in case you guys forgot. And we can see how ridiculously broken Aurora is, because it's wrapping around 4 trees and hitting 2 enemies simultaneously, and we don't even have to aim it. It is great in many ways. Whoa, we just spun out for absolutely no reason, and that is why it's dangerous to be an ice road trucker, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, if I didn't mention before, the splash damage on Hailstorm is ridiculous. Sometimes some of the rockets will explode and cause the unexploded rockets to kind of ricochet around and hit other things, but not intentional. It's pretty erratic. But I have noticed that happen a few times here, especially if you're aiming at like one large target. You might see like 1 or 2 of the 4 rockets go kind of off the path a little bit once it collides. Oh joy, more shield arms. Oh, I never get tired of this. This game is so much fun, guys. Like, seriously, I know it looks dated, and I know it may not look as exciting as War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, but it is just so much fun. I promise that. And because I'm Optimus Prime, I'm gonna headbutt a shield arm, and he's gonna dodge out of the way. This is not the Matrix. You can take that slow-mo stuff and you can put it in a different game.
Understood.
Yeah, the melee combo, if you still manages to knock down most medium-sized enemies, even without the melee boosters equipped. And I was being stupid there by attacking the shield arm, but I just want to demonstrate how brutally awesome the, heavy armor is from Bulletproof. But we're going to get rid of Bulletproof because I need Slipstream again, unfortunately. See, that's the sad part about a lot of those armor minicons, is you can only really use them in a few parts of the game, because now that we have Slipstream, we are required to have Slipstream to be able to get through certain areas in the game. And there's another minicon we're going to get towards the end of this level that is going to also have a similar purpose, where we have to have it equipped in order to progress the level. It's not really going to replace Slipstream, it's just going to be, you have to have it for situational scenarios in each respective level. You have to have one or the other. But it'll also give us the opportunity to get more minicons that we couldn't get otherwise, so I'll elaborate on that when we actually acquire the thing. There's a dropship right here. Now, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but splash damage does go through dropships and it kills the enemies inside if you're quick enough. So if you hit them in the right spot underneath while the enemies are still in there, you should be able to kill the medium units that are actually inside it without having to worry about blowing up the dropship itself. Although blowing up the dropship itself is just so much fun, especially with how much energon it drops for us to be healed by. Not that we need any, because our minicon team allows us to have an extraordinary amount of health. I did mention earlier, one of the other nice pros about Aurora is just how ridiculously long the beam lasts for. I can pretty much kill all the enemies right here in this encounter without having to recharge it. Actually, I recharged there from me getting incapacitated, but it just lasts for a really long time. It lasts forever. Wow, he just did like a belly flop into the snow. Speaking of snow, in case I haven't been Captain Obvious yet and mentioned the fact that we're in Alaska, which reminds me of something I've noticed kind of throughout this LP, and that is that really in the majority of Transformers series, they kind of take place, despite the fact that they are disguised as Earth vehicles, therefore they can blend in, they don't really spend an awful lot of time blending in with society. They're kind of out in the middle of nowhere actually having their fights. You know, sort of Dragon Ball Z style, where they fight as far away from society as possible. And that's okay and everything. They did a lot in G1, a lot in the Armada series. In fact, a lot of the locations in this game are locations that were seen in the Armada series, such as the Amazon and whatnot, or at least a jungle-like location of the sort. But, and I'm pretty sure there was a, I don't really recall there being an Alaska episode of the show, really. Let's see, Cybertron, most of Cybertron was in space, although the times where it was on Earth, it was far away from society. They only drifted into town when they absolutely had to. So really the Michael Bay verse, as far as like having them be in fight in the middle of city and all the mass property damage that comes with a big blockbuster movie nowadays, is really pretty much unique to that franchise and his franchise of movies. And it also means that he succeeded in making the Transformers actually robots in disguise, because that's the only adaptation of Transformers where you really see their alt modes as genuine disguises, where they can blend into their surroundings and the society of the inhabitants they're invading by their alt modes. And that's really, again, I guess that he succeeded in that, but it's just anyone could have done that with a live action adaptation of Transformers, but come on. Allow me to nitpick little details like that and give it some kind of praise. While we're going off on this tangent, I suppose I've had a few people ask me what I think about Transformers Prime, since it seems to be acquiring quite a following now. It seems like it's gotten into its later seasons, and it's really caught on, as far as I can tell, in the eyes of the fans, at least some of the more non-G1 purist fans that I commonly associate myself with. It seems like they like it overall, and I haven't seen enough of it to really see the appeal. I just think it's kind of a glorified cash. Yes, that's my Castlevania ringtone, and I'm not editing it out because it's awesome. Anyway, it seems like it's kind of a glorified cash-in on the films, because it has like almost the same. It has a similar cast of Autobots and Decepticons as the films did and as animated did, and it has, you know, the original voices of Optimus and Megatron, that kind of thing, which I'm okay with. But it just seems like, again, kind of a marketing tool, like caching, not really that it was a good caching choice. Although it is, because you can never go wrong with Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime. I don't care who argues against that. Wow. Like, that was just a big middle finger to that shield arm there. He was like, oh yes, you're overwhelmed now, you can't possibly deflect all these shots, and then I blast him straight into the face of the wall. And he's rolling around like mad on the side of this cliff, because he's very angry with me. Anyway, Transformers Prime, yeah, I think it's okay, but I haven't really seen much of the story yet. I like Stephen J. Bloom as Starscream, although I think I think Sam Riegel as Starscream in War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron was much more appropriate, but that's supposed to be more like a G1-ish Starscream. That's not supposed to be a new interpretation of the character, which the Prime version is. So, I'm willing to accept that, but again, I just haven't seen enough of the series to really give anyone a good, honest opinion about it. I'm not opposed to how... Yes, that's fair. Throw a grenade at me that explodes on impact while I can't even look in the same direction that the enemy is throwing it from. But this is old school gaming, so grenade indicators be damned. We will have no such things, and we will definitely not have no silly throw the grenade back button. You kids these days and your throw the grenade back button. I would never touch that thing in my life, even if I saw it on the screen. Yeah, this is definitely the most... well, I take it back. The next level is the most obnoxious level in the game when it comes to them throwing grenades like that. Also, if you're new to the way... oh, dear God. I love this weapon. I love this game. This is just hilarious. I'm having so much fun with this. Jesus Christ, we just butchered that guy. Anyway, like I was saying, if you're new to the platforming in this game and you don't quite understand the way the physics work, a lot of these platforming sequences, especially on scaling the edge of those cliffs there, can really be annoying. And we just blew our own head off. Yeah, we've got a really big encounter coming up here, though. Probably the biggest one in the level. But that's where we're going to get our new mini-con. What I was talking about that allows us to get other mini-cons in previous levels, which, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? More backtracking. Technically, I don't really consider it backtracking if it's just selecting a previous level on a level select screen.
Commander, is that a...
Especially when it's optional. Here we have a command unit who has basically ordered all of his medium units to become meat shields. Or metal shields, whatever you want to call them, because they're not meat, but you know what I mean. But his efforts were futile because they all scattered when they saw my cluster of rockets, and then he was killed before they were. Now they're retreating because he's dead. That's hilarious. But it was an ambush. They're bringing in dropships. 4 freaking dropships. There will be spider tanks. There will be heavy units. There will be more command units, and there will be plenty of shieldy medium units whom I can blow up with my rockets. Let's try to get... I was going to go for the subtle approach there, but I forgot the fact that I mentioned spider tanks just a second ago. I was going to try to get a few shots off on that command unit before I got too close. And now we've dealt with him, we've pretty much really simplified this encounter here. Oh! Cool, I didn't even know that existed. Apparently there's a lean feature when you're in the first-person recon mode in this game. I didn't know that at all. Not that it's at all relevant, but I didn't even know that. Huh, that's funny, something I didn't know about this game after all these years. Anyway. It's been like 6 years or 7 years since I've had this game. Yeah, something like that. Alright, Spider Tank is dead, now we can go for the more direct approach. Like I said, this is going to be a big encounter. So just take it slow and kind of go with the attrition approach. You know, the more enemies you kill, the more health you get back, so the more damage you can take, kind of thing. And remember, we've got a great setup right now. We have some of the most powerful weapons in the game we can have right now. So we have the most powerful secondary weapon, pretty much. Alright, this is high jump. He is, well, a high jump. It allows us to jump even higher, and which is going to be good for combat because we can dodge attacks that much better when we high jump. When we're strafing, when we do a high jump, we can dodge attacks by not even being at the same altitude as that attack anymore. In addition to that, it also allows us to reach higher ledges that we couldn't platform to normally, which is going to be helpful in the next level. The only problem is the levels are designed around it, so again, it hinders our ability to have a minicon team on our L1 slot because it's occupied by this, because we have to have it to be able to progress through the level. So that's kind of annoying, but also there will be some minicons in the previous levels I can now go back and get. This actually worked out pretty well in my favor there, because as you saw, there's like literally like 30 freaking medium units over there, and luring out that spider tank allowed me to concentrate my fire on it, and now they're all hoarding around those trees over there. I think it's the command units that are doing that as well. Oh, if I didn't mention before, I believe the command units can send up flares and call in dropships. But I might be crazy. I might be crazy. Oh, right when I said I didn't think he could do it, he went and does it. I think it's scripted though. I think like they have to have like there is a specific group of enemies that are going to drop from that particular command unit's call. Whoa, we just dodged a sword attack. Whoa, we just dodged again because we're so awesome, because we're Optimus freaking Prime. And there we go, there's another formation like that, where he's ordered them all into a formation in front of him, which is actually kind of ingenious because they all have shields, but I just blew all of them away, and you know, luckily their shields are not ballistic shields, and our rockets just blew them away. Anyway, I remember the first time I played this game, picking up this minicon and wanting to rush past this whole encounter to get back over to that cave back there, because I'm like, oh no, there's no way I'll be able to fight all these guys, because I saw more dropships coming in. I'm like, I wonder if it's infinite enemies, which it's not, because this game does not do that. Well, for the most part. Instead, it was the command units calling in more. So you just gotta take your time with it. This is why it's gonna be such a long video, is how long it takes me to get through this encounter. Yes, die, stupid dropship. I need your health. Thank you. Anyway, I hope it's not too early to start discussing this, but I've already been thinking about what other kind of Transformers games I can go on from here to record. You know, where I can go from here to record other Transformers games. And really, I've pretty much exhausted all the good ones, to be perfectly honest. This and the Of Cybertron series are the good ones. Like, there are no other really good ones out there. The games based on the movies are terribly generic. The best one of the three, actually, is the Revenge of the Fallen game. The Revenge of the Fallen game actually has really good gameplay, and it was designed really well and very original. It has some funky controls, but it works pretty well for the most part. And that'd be the closest one I would even consider to recording, but that one still has a very basic, you know, repetitive mission structure like most movie-based games do. So it still wouldn't be that great, but it'd be the only one I consider out of the three movie-based games. The first one is pretty bad. And the things you have to do to win some of the fights in that game are just stupid. Like, you have an enemy that is immune to melee damage from a giant freaking robot and immune to its guns and missiles, but if you pick up a street light and throw it at it, it's somehow incapacitated. You know what I mean? It's stupid. And the same thing goes to the bosses. The bosses in the game are retarded. Especially the Autobot bosses.